Hello again, everyone. This is my follow-up on Doug, the Staffordshire Terrier, that I think this is the 6th video, but of course, as you can see, Doug is now completed. And so I just want to show you, here's a picture that I went off of, and here's his portrait. So on some of these really dark areas of his body, I really kind of had to, press down fairly hard on some of that with the black pencil. I've still kind of got it at an angle. If you hold your pencil straight up and down and press hard, all you'll be doing is making some very strong marks that won't blend in with the rest of it. So just hold it on the side there. Make sure that you have complete control of your pencil at all times to know exactly where your pencil marks are going to be going. So I took the pink Madder Lake and very lightly had glazed in the pink color on his belly. And if you notice, it really helps bring all of the pink that I've put on him kind of all together. So anyway, I very gently glazed in this pink, and in the fur, he doesn't have any pink in his fur, but with the sun shining on it and stuff, you've got to use some other color, because if you just fill all this in with black, it's not going to look right. You've got to show your shadows. You've got to show the different way your fur is laying down in there. This particular dog had a lot of different fur patterns. You just have to really look and make sure that you've got those going in the right way. And I see a little bit of black here that I didn't blend in too well. And then what I did was, I call this my cheating white. This is a soft pastel, and you can buy these, maybe not totally individual, but in a small pack at Hobby Lobby. Now this particular one is a Rembrandt one, and it came in a package with some other colors. It's a very high quality soft pastel, and that is what I went over on his fur and everything, and around his nose and a few areas. Now I see a little thing on there. I always have a very clean, I don't use this brush for anything else but my colored portraits and pastels. I use this to brush away any little things that may have gotten on. And that is what I highly recommend too, is keeping your work very clean. If you see any little marks on there, go ahead and take your good eraser, and don't use your fingers on any of these, because you'll just smear the color out into the pastel mat that you don't want color on. So I went in to do his legs and his one back foot back here. His back foot in the picture showed up extremely dark, so I really tried to color that in with very dark. And I probably even used a little bit of my dark indigo 157 and kind of went over that. But you can tell in a picture, or just logically, if the sun is kind of coming from this direction and it's hitting the animal, and you've got a lot of highlights on this side. I've got quite a few highlights there too, but you can tell it's going to be a whole lot darker over here. And I probably could have even darkened this side of his leg just a little bit more maybe. But anyway, so I did all that. When you're doing these hairs on a dog's chest, where there's a lot of integrated hairs going into the other one, that's what you call toothing, and you've just got to kind of layer those little hairs in individual so that it looks like he's got some black hairs growing in there, but also he's got this white in there too. So after you kind of make sure you get those little hairs in there in different places to make it look, you know, realistic, I feel like he's pretty well done. The very last thing I do is I put in his whiskers. And I had to look closely, but he's got some black whiskers and he's got some white ones. So I tried to put a little bit of both in there. And then he had some white chin whiskers. So I put those in. And then I took permanent green olive, 167, I believe. My pencil was sharper than this, and it really doesn't have to be real sharp because when you're doing blades of grass, they're kind of thick anyway, so you don't have to have a super sharp pencil on that. I also took earth green, yellowish, 168, and kind of went in there for just a little bit of an additional color, so that the grass, you know, all grass isn't going to be the same color green. And then just for a little bit of variance, didn't have to do this, but I took my Luminance 832, which is a brown ochre 10%, and I just filled in just a little bit to make it look like there was a little bit of ground, you know, a little bit of ground, a little bit of dead grass here and there. Filled in that. And then, of course, you always want to make sure that you sign your artwork. And this particular gentleman's name is Doug, so I put Doug by my name. And that's really all I've done. I wanted to make sure in all of the places that I've got the coloring a little bit distinguished, you want to make sure you show those distinct marks, but yet you want to try to blend a little bit too. You want to have it blended as well as you can. I feel pretty good about this drawing, and my viewers, you can do the same thing. All it does is take some practice and get kind of a general learning of your pencils and the blending and what pencils can blend in with other colors. You can blend any pencils. It's just that some colors, you know, go better together. On your blacks, you've got to use a little highlight of some kind. Again, I used a highlight of my dark red in some areas and my indigo blue mostly, to kind of help add a little bit of color to that black. Again, even a totally black dog is not going to be just black. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please let any of your friends or anybody in your art clubs or whatever, let them know to follow me at Susan Sanders, at Susan Sanders Dillon Creek Studios. I wish I would have used a shorter term when I was setting up my YouTube account. But anyway, it is what it is. So I really appreciate you all watching, and please subscribe. Thank you.